It's a complicated life for the southern people. Like a small town, nothing's real. Mama's still doing wrong. Don't tell the preacher. Nothing really changes except the weather. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much. I could leave it all. I'm feeling low. Find myself on a brand new road. If you can't say something nice, you don't say nothing at all. Don't want you up in my life, 'cause you talk too much, y'all. Gotta go to church on Sunday. Get a dose of the southern truth. Grandma's house is just down the way, and she's missing you.
And happy Saturday again. Welcome to the show, Southern Talk with the Cornbread Man. Enjoyed my time this morning with Biscuit Boy. Safe travels to him as he pulls out of town in the morning for a vacation. We hope to check in with him while he is away. We'll work on that. We have him set up, I believe. Happy last Saturday of the year, as we said. 2026 fast approaches. And we are busy beavers, and we're happy to be busy. I hope you had a great Christmas again. And sorry for that. We're going to work on the sun is a wonderful thing, but it is torturing us on the podcast on our live stream out in the street. But we're gonna rectify that by the next time we are together there. So it's wonderful, but we're just gonna change a couple things so we can see the chats better. We're fine, but looking on screen is a nightmare. We're going to figure that out. Today's program, while I'm on, we're going to look at some new laws taking effect after January 1st in the states of Tennessee and Georgia. Wouldn't have time in this program to even cover all. This is amazing. All the laws that are taking effect just in one state. There's just so many of them, and it's really hard. It's amazing. A good afternoon to you in Instagram. It is really hard to keep up with, as we say, the laws that we have, much less the new laws that are coming along. It's really crazy when you think about that. It's like, how in the world do you even keep up with all that? And I know when like you think of OSHA, when they make changes and stuff, you have to go, companies and stuff, they have to go to classes to get, keep up to date on it, because they don't want to be breaking the law and things. And there almost should be a class, which I don't know you get anybody to come, but there should be, they sort of announce them, but they don't really talk about them much. And sometimes people really know the laws as they're going to change, and sometimes people do not know the laws that are changing in their own state. And many of them may not have much to do with that particular person, but many of them may. And I want to touch the highlights of those as we are very close, obviously just a few days away from the new year, and look at some of those laws. We'll bounce back and forth. We'll cover one from Tennessee, we'll cover one from Georgia, or vice versa, and we'll go with that. But it is a beautiful day here in Northwest Georgia. It is absolutely gorgeous. The weather is amazing. We're going to have some cold nights coming up, but it looks like a spring day. It feels like a spring day. Beautiful blue skies with just a few sporadic clouds. It is warm. I mean, you could window down driving today. Actually, window down, and I don't. It's been a while since I've been able to do that, and it just feels great. It's beautiful. This is a weekend to get out and do something. Kind of shake off the winter, doldrums or whatever you want to say, and get out in the world and do something and enjoy yourself. If you're in an area that has that, some parts of the country you may be under snow. I get it, but here in the southeast, it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't remember it being like this. I can remember some warm Christmas times and stuff, and there may be one that I do where I think we had a lot of rain though. But it is beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful outside. And while it lasts, get out and enjoy it. This would be a great day to take a drive somewhere, visit a national park. Just go do something. Get out. If you're off work, gather some guys up, get out and play some sports. Little baseball, softball, football, something. I mean, shoot some hoops. I mean, this is a rarity. It'll change quickly. That's the way winter times are. We usually don't have really extreme winters in our area. But we still have, it gets pretty rough there a few points of the year. Here lately, the last few years have been fairly mild, but it is changing, and there are changes. I don't know, as the jet stream changes or whatever. But there are parts of the country that have really definitely suffered some cold times and cold snaps and bad extreme wind. We've had some wind. Now we have had that. We were at the National Battlefield yesterday. You're going to be seeing some of those videos already are out there, but we have some for the Ascending group, and then we have some for just for the podcast, Wolf Nation. Then we have some for our history show, Bibles and Battlefields, which I didn't get to Thursday night. I'm going to try to pick that back up Sunday night. We're going to be talking about Major General George Thomas, the Rock of Chickamauga as it became known. So we were at the National Battlefield yesterday. They had a tree disease that swept through there many years ago. And so a lot of the trees are diseased, and there are trees down everywhere. In fact, you got to be really careful. We saw recent trees that were broken, hanging up in the air. They couldn't fall all the way due to other trees. So for the hikers and people that are going through, you got to really be careful. It's going to take 30, 40, 50 years for the recovery of that. But in the summer, you don't notice it as much because of all the greenery. But in the wintertime, it's depressing to see just how bad that is. But we were out yesterday enjoying that and walking, doing some trails and stuff. Good morning there to Nice World. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, you can correct me. Coming in on YouTube. God bless all of you YouTube folks that are coming in. But yeah, get out and enjoy it if you can. Get your animals out, do some walks with them. It gets so bad, the dogs don't want to go out. But if you can get out into the world and get your dogs a walk, and we're going to cover on the pet show. Our pet show, by the way, is Southern Claws and Paws, and that airs every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here in the Tennessee Valley, we have had a new vet open up that is dog only. I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. It's just dog only, which I know there's a lot of dogs, so you have plenty of business. But I'm going to have to ask my co-host, the cat lady, Miss Jenna, if she has heard of that. Dog only. It's a new practice, and they don't deal with anything else. Sorry, cat owners, you can't go here. Just dogs. Maybe that's just they want to just specialize on dogs, or maybe they don't want to deal with cats, or maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. But anyway, all right. Just a little bit, and our schedule. If you'll join us on Band, if you look up the Southern Fried Patriots podcast on Band, BAND, you can follow our schedule. I try to keep that updated every day. Sometimes we have to adjust to show up or back or cancel because just due to my wife's health and other things that's going on in life. We try to stay with that, though. We try to stay with every show that we have scheduled. Every day, we try to stick with that and be consistent with that because we know it's important. We have people that want to see us, and we're thankful for that. Give us a like, follow, share, stalk us, keep up with us. You can even not like us. I had a God bless her. We had a young girl that was, hello, Dean. We had a young girl that has been coming in the podcast. I don't know area of the country she lives in. Hello, Brittany. And bless her heart, she was very supportive of the show, liked what we did, and she saw my Trump flag that I did. The puppets were on the air; their puppets are returning, and she found she classified me as basically I'm a Trumpster. I wouldn't say I'm that. I say I voted for him, and there's things I like, things I don't like, but that's not even the point. The point is, he said my mom says I can't listen to anybody that is follows or voted for Trump, so I can't watch your show anymore. And I was like, no, I mean, that's so sad. We don't even talk about that much, but isn't that sad? I mean, it's like crazy. What am I doing? Well, I'm enjoying a Saturday, and this is the last Saturday of the year, and having a good time and enjoying you. And we're going to cover some new laws that are taking effect in the states of Tennessee and Georgia, because I'm right here. I live in Georgia, and I am right close to the Tennessee state border, so I spend a lot of time over in Tennessee as well. Georgia, after January 1st, in obviously the year 2026, has one of the most major ones that have changed is Savannah's Law. That's a law that's going to take place as of January 1st. It's signed in. It's a register. I like this. It's a registry for repeat domestic violence offenders, including their name, the date of birth, conviction date, county, and current photograph. That has become the big deal in the world today. We have the sex offenders registry in Georgia, and probably most states have one. But I know in Georgia, if you pull it up, it'll show you everywhere where they live. And it's a little scary when you see, good morning, Watchman. It's a little concerning when you see all the sex offenders that are living in your community. Well, Savannah's Law is now going to give you at least their name, date of birth, conviction date, county, and current photograph. So if your daughter or granddaughter, in my case, brings home some, wants you to visit the new boyfriend or somebody they're dating or something, you might want to do a little search after January 1st and start looking at these people to make sure. Oh, yeah, I do live in Georgia. You're moving here soon. Where are you moving from, and what area of Georgia are you moving to? Welcome to the state. It's a beautiful state. We do have some loonies here in politics that we gotta vote out and fix some things. But Watchman here, he's also Georgia. Dean is also Georgia. So a lot of Georgians in here because obviously I'm Georgia, so a lot of people that I know tune in. But Savannah's Law is one of the big ones. If we flip over to Tennessee, they have a new law that is taking. Well, that's not the one I was looking for. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. There was a bunch of laws that took effect in July as well. But after the turn of the year, in Tennessee, they have a new law that is called the Implied Consent Driving the Influence in Tennessee. It was signed by Governor Lee into law to change the state's implied consent law. Bye-bye. Hey, if you got to go, see you. Have a great Saturday. I don't blame you. Get out in the world and enjoy this beautiful Saturday. But yeah, visit us, give us a like and a follow, and that way you'll see when we go live, if nothing else, Anyway, it says there's three parts of this. Refusing a requested blood test will trigger an implied consent charge. So a new charge if you refuse the blood test, it'll be an implied consent charge. License suspension for refusal increases to 1.5 years for a misdemeanor DUI suspect with no related conviction in the last 10 years. So it's pretty stepping it up. Saliva tests are authorized and results are admissible. This is part of the new law of the implied consent law in Tennessee that Governor Lee has signed in. We'll come back to that in a moment. So there's a couple for you. One in Georgia, one in Tennessee. Here's another one I found interesting. In the state of Georgia, a new law taking effect after the first. It's called the Ink of Hope Act. Ink, I-N-K, like ink. It's for tattoo artists. Ink of Hope Act. It is a human trafficking intervention training for tattoo artists. It's amazing. When I was a kid, you hardly ever there was no such thing as tattoo artists. There were people that did tattoos. It was usually military or prison, and you might have had a rare one around. I never saw them much. Now they're everywhere. That we now have, we now have training for tattoo artists. It requires a 1 hour course by an approved nonprofit agency, and this is to spot evidences that someone is in your shop who may be being human trafficked. So that is a required 1 hour course. That's probably a nonprofit agency. So interesting. I want to dig into this a little bit more and find out the paper trail on this. Who is the approved nonprofit agency? Who does this? It's 1 hour. Can you do it online? There's things I'm not looking deeper into it, but if you want to look at that, that's kind of interesting. Is it something you can do a PowerPoint or is it a video? I mean, that's 1 hour is pretty good. I mean, or is it live? Can you do streaming? Or webinar, whatever it is. Hello, Bob. Bob's cool. Love that. But yeah, the Ink of Hope Act in the state of Tennessee, human trafficking intervention training for tattoo artists, goes in effect after January the 1st. So if you are a tattoo artist in Tennessee, I'm sure you will have already heard about this, but maybe not. Back to Georgia, or that was Georgia, excuse me, back to Tennessee. I got that backwards. That was Georgia. So in Georgia, tattoo artists, I don't think Tennessee's doing that, but back to Georgia. Let me get this one, find this, make sure I'm in the right place. The SNAP benefits have had an adjustment. First viewer, yes, on Twitch, you are the first viewer on Twitch. Thank you we're across multiple streams coming out of StreamYard. So we're on about 7 or 8 different streams. Well, actually counting doubles a little more than that, but we're glad you're here. Thank you. If you hadn't already followed us, do. And if you're a streamer on there, we'll give you a follow. And we appreciate you. Buying junk food with SNAP benefits. Again, this is out of, the laws that were passed in Nashville, Tennessee. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has approved waivers for 18 states, including Tennessee, to ban the use of SNAP benefits to buy certain sugary foods and drinks. It prohibits the purchase of items like soda, energy drinks, candy, and prepared desserts with SNAP benefits. And also the Savannah's Law we talked about also crosses over into Tennessee as well. There's a lot of reciprocal laws like that. And okay. Well, we appreciate that. Yeah, we're on both. Hey, thanks a lot, man. It really does help, and I appreciate you thinking of us that way. And so, not everybody can see everybody in the chat, so I need to pop those up more. Sometimes I get behind. And Miss Brittany had to go, but we appreciate Miss Brittany coming on. And then who else we had in here? Watchman, there you are. He's coming in from Rumble, and then Dean Potts was Rumble as well. And then we also had Tennis World. So we appreciate all of you stopping in. And y'all are a blessing. So the Savannah's Law, which we talked about, which is a database for domestic abusers. And I applaud that. That is a huge problem in our country. And we need to know who these people are that have this kind of rage, battering people and all that. And that could be male or female. That's, people think just guys. No, there's a lot of female domestic abusers nowadays. That used to be almost non-existent. That's not the case anymore. I'd say, I don't know the numbers, but I would say it could be 50-50 right now. If they pull up to a place and there's something happening, it could be either one or both go to jail now. That's kind of where we're at. This domestic abuse has just gotten to a level. But while I'm in Tennessee, so I wanted, and it says that there were waivers created for that, but this was a federal law put in for snaps, but it says that 18 states got a waiver, so it does talk about it. THC and hemp in Tennessee. It always lights people's ears up when you talk about THC or hemp. The latest, the Tennessee hemp program to remain unchanged for now as new federal laws and rules change. We know the president has been changing some of that. Where did I get the jerseys behind me? The Falcons jersey was straight out of, not Compton, straight out of the NFL shop. I bought that brand new. That's Bijan Robinson for the Falcons. I paid the price. Yeah, I did. That's not a Chinese ripoff or anything like that. Neither one of them are. That's an official NFL jersey. The mailman Stetson Bennett jersey, not journey. He was on a journey and still is, for the University of Georgia. I got that through. I got lucky and got that through. Believe it or not, I found a lot of jerseys through Goodwill, and that was not my size. That's actually for my wife, and I just hung it on the wall. But that's kind of mine, hers kind of thing. But I ordered that through Goodwill. So if you look around, if you can find, it's the problem is your size. If you just want to hang it up, it's not a problem. If you're looking for your size, the Goodwill is a great place. I bought multiple jerseys off of Goodwill. I only got one from Detroit Lions. There are some places that you can buy. They're not ripoffs, but they're seconds where NFL jerseys didn't get stitched right. If you look around, you can find some places you can get some deals there as well. They can't sell them like new, even though they are. And sometimes if you didn't know what the problem was with it, you wouldn't even know it had a stitch problem. But you can get stuff like that. And the Lions, what has happened to them? If come in and tune in on our sports show, we have every Monday or Wednesday. Next week it'll be Monday, and we talk NFL and certainly NFL and college football. But the Detroit Lions, man, I like what they're doing. And Jamar Gibbs, who's from right down below me, Dalton, GA, great young man, was a great kid. I've met people that went to school with him. Love what he does. Really good team. They've struggled here lately. Unbelievable. Yeah, and I'm shocked. I mean, that was everybody thought that was a potential Super Bowl at least playing team. But yeah, the Detroit has fell on some tough times. They just gonna have to buckle up, Buttercup, for next year, I guess you say. They're doing better than my Falcons, I'll say that. But it's a good team. But if I was going to get if I was going to get a jersey right now from Detroit, I mean, there's a couple options there, but certainly Jamar Gibbs would be one that I would think about. All right. Governor Bill Lee signed a bill that would further regulate the hemp industry and ban certain THCA products from being sold in the volunteer state. The Alcohol Beverage ABC takes over as the regulator for hemp sales. Well, you know where this is going. THCA, clarified as hemp-derived cannabis, after initially being planned to start on January 1st. This has been delayed until at least July, is a disclaimer here. THCP deemed not a hemp-derived cannabinoid. Anything with a concentration of more than 0.3% on a dry weight basis of THCA will not be able to be sold. This amendment clarifies that the 0.3% is the limit for Delta 9 THC content for hemp-derived cannabinoids. So, it's always a fight in Tennessee, in anyway. I know it has been in Georgia and Tennessee. Some of the stuff that, I think there's a lot of misunderstandings out there. I don't have any of that or do any of it, but it has definitely. Yeah, man. Bob, hey, have a great day. Yeah, carpet capital of the world, Watchman. Hey, take care, Bob. Thanks for dropping in, man. We appreciate you giving us a minute of your precious time. And time is precious. You can't get it back. Yeah, carpet capital of the world. I've done some tours down there and looked at basically I got, from the ground up. It's an interesting history. It really is. And God bless you. Have a great New Year. If I don't talk to you again, Happy New Year to you. But yeah, carpet capital of the world. But there's been stores, and listen, I'm not in it. I would want things to be legal and above board and everything else. But if you listen to the local people, they get frustrated because they think they're legal. The next thing they know, the drug task force is hitting. Thank you, sir. The drug task force is hitting these stores. And, there are those that are shady kind of folks. I mean, I get that. They're not to be trusted kind of places. Not, that could be a lot of places. But there are some that they spend a lot of time and money on research and really stay on top of things. And they feel like they've been targeted. I don't know, but that's what you'll hear. So there's a lot of misunderstanding on a lot of different sides of this. Here's another one, and this is Tennessee as well. I'll go back to Georgia in a minute. I wanted to cover this. This is interesting. I don't know. So I just like to laugh and have a good time. Sometimes people probably think I'm mocking something, really not. My mind does this. I just go somewhere. Just make it legal. So let's see. Just make it legal so stupid that cannabis is illegal. Our Constitution written on cannabis paper, you know. But people, it's always about. Well, there's a lot of different entities in this, but that the ABC, the alcohol boards, all are taking over. I don't know where that's going to go. That sounds like I think the days of freedom for a lot of folks and what they're doing with that, the regulation is fixing to get really stiff if that's the case. I would suspect. So they're going to be able to get a lot of fines, a lot of fine money, be a lot of fines. And welcome again on Instagram. Thank you for popping in. Anybody else, if I don't see your name and you're just here by number, so I don't mean that in a bad way. I just see you by number, like 5 of you on X. Thank you for X. Doesn't do a good job with. I could go into the individual program, but thank you for dropping by. All right, HB 0164, SB 0128. This is a law that would permit licensed chiropractors in the state of Tennessee to also practice animal chiropractic. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I guess you do x-rays and you figure out, but I mean, the dog can't come in and go, I feel like I've got a catch in my back, I didn't even know there was such a thing. It was passed over opposition from members of the American Veterinary Medical Association. The bill would require licensed human chiropractors to take 6 hours of continuing animal chiropractic education annually. Well, that's a lot, 6 hours. Maybe they spread that out over the year. In addition to all required education set by the Board of Chiropractic Examiners, they would also be required to receive certification from the American Veterinary Chiropractic Association. Again, some things I'm just not up to date on. I did not know there was a chiropractic animal association. Didn't know that. State Representative Pat Marsh, Republican, Shelbyville, Tennessee, said the measure would allow animal owners more options for pain management. AVMA Executive Board member Dr. Mary Ergen, a licensed veterinarian in Nashville, said she worried about untrained individuals causing animals more pain. I mean, and the only way you're going to know is if they start, growling, wincing, moaning, howling, whatever. But kind of like we do, I guess, when we go to the doctor. Oh, that hurt. But I didn't know this. I guess it's another. It's a revenue stream. But here's the thing. My mind. This is another. We're going to have a program on one night soon. Is do you do you bring you and your dog at the same time for your twice, 3 times a week visit to the chiropractor? I mean, do they have an animal side and a human side? I mean, what does this mean? Like, and somebody tell me, honestly, I don't know. Is there such a thing where you can go in and you'll be able to go into and you and your dog can go back at the same time? Well, animal. I didn't just say dog, animal. My God, my mind just goes wild with this. It's like they're a parakeet chiropractic care, owl. I mean, snakes. I know that's a little different. I get it, but I'm assuming dogs and cats, and I don't know. Horse, that'd be a heck of a chiropractor right there. You know how I've went before. I do have knowledge of chiropractic care because I quit going, and I've been able to maintain. I learned how to just kind of take care of myself and really alleviate the pain, not through medications, natural ways that I know how to do my body. And I quit going. And the reason I quit going was because my chiropractor I was going to, who I like, forbid drop in. They said walk. I just went by their shop, rode down it going to do the live show, and they have walk-ins on the sign. Welcome. What they don't tell you is this particular chiropractor, which is a part of a huge school of them that they run you through like cattle. It's all about money. I don't care what they say. I like the guy. I started with him when he was in a small practice. He built a big new place. I walk in one day. They come in and hand me a paper that says I have to agree to a course of care and pay for it all up front or take a loan out with obviously tax increases or not taxes, but interest increases on that. It was going to be $1,200 to $1,500 for the next 25 visits or something. And I said, what if I only came when I need it? Like I would come, a couple of times, three. I usually do 3 trips, and then I wouldn't come back for a while. And that's what they were trying to do, to corner you in, to keep you coming. And they would say, well, he said, well, we're not going to treat you that way. If you don't agree to all the care, we can't do you no good, and you're not taking proper care of yourself, is what he. And I said, look, Bob, I said, my own general practicing doctor, like MD, does not ask me to come to him. In fact, he'll tell me I don't need to come back for a while, and I'm like, I'm not signing that, and he goes, well, you can't come back, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I won't be back. And so I quit going. I intended on finding another chiropractor, and I just never did. And over time, I just figured out how to do all that. Well, I don't need them. And so, you know what, Mr. Doctor, you lose. And you know what? I don't need you, because a lot of it's just, I get it feels good and all that. It's no different than a massage. They crack a few bones and give you a massage. Some of them will get you down and put you in the torture chamber and really start, hitting your body and everything. But anyway, it just made me mad. But I did not know, and I've never been where a dog come in or a cat or anything else and I realized they didn't have a way to do that. Now they do, but it cracks me up. Watchman says Big Pharma losing too much money. Also, the alcohol industry losing money to cannabis. Well, yeah, sure. Too many issues with allergies. But I have not been back to the chiropractor since that day. And I suspect that unless something major changes, I don't think that ever will. It's treated like, almost like people get almost kind of addicted to that in a different kind of way. They want you to come 3 times a week. And what they want you to do is be on a maintenance program. They say, well, you'll just slip back. I've got a problem with my neck. That's why I was in a car wreck. And honestly, does it help to get all that massages and all that stuff? Sure. Because, it just feels good to get, because, we build up tension and scar tissue. I have a chip bone. The only way to really fix it is surgery, and I'm not going to do the surgery. I'm going to endure whatever. I learned when I was going, it was really bad. I learned how to keep it alleviated through natural ways. And, it bothers me every once in a while, but I know how to alleviate it without having to do anything crazy. And I'm just not going to go. But it really ticked me off. I'm not going to name the group they're with, but I will promise you it's not just that one place. That particular group does that. There's plenty of chiropractors still let you come in when you want to. But I just never went back, and I'm just going to save the money. Some insurance programs or policies rather, will actually pay for up to, ours at that time paid for $750 of copay or something like that. And so people would go until that was basically gone and then not go back. So they would spread it out through the year and use their benefit. But I'm just not giving them another dollar. Basically kicked me out the door. It basically said, you sign it or you can't come back. And I said, I will never be back here. Say goodbye. I've been with you for years. I've been coming here. I helped build your practice, and you are kicking me to the curb. He said, I have a medical responsibility. Bull crap. Jack, I won't be back. Call me stubborn, call me whatever. I don't care. I won't do it. Yeah, and that's what, absolutely, Watchman, and that's absolutely what my motto in life. I'm not going to do it. I will, there's stretches I do. There's ice. There's different. I don't use ice very often. It's rare, but I have done that. But I wonder how people feel about that. All right, let's go back to Georgia. Back home in Georgia. All right. That's not the one I wanted. Where's the one I wanted for Georgia? I keep flipping these things around. I think I keep flipping them off of the one I want to cover. That's Tennessee. Here is back to Georgia, I think. So we covered, which is a little wider. All right, here's one. in Georgia. There's a change to civil lawsuits in Georgia coming. The Georgia Courts of Access and Consumer Protection Act, it's called, takes effect on January 1st, changing laws regarding who can fund lawsuits in Georgia and imposing certain registration requirements. The bill requires anyone who funds a lawsuit to register as a litigation financier with the Department of Banking and Finance. In part, it bans any foreign government or non-governmental person from a foreign country from financing litigation in Georgia. Hear, hear. I kind of think that's probably a great idea. Y'all's thoughts? We don't need foreign influence, and that's where a lot. We've got people outside the country that are trying to take down our country any way they can, and civil lawsuits are an absolute scourge to the court system. Sometimes needed, many times. We got a lot of people just trying to sue anybody and everybody they can because they're just sorry low down people. I mean, it happens. My wife has had some fraudsters. They stopped in front of her on a turn, and the car is just kind of tapped. There was no mark, nothing. Both people jump out of the car, holding their necks and back, screaming and cursing my wife. The guy slammed his fist down. Now this is to my wife. He better be glad I wasn't there. This dude wouldn't have slammed his fist no more, but he slammed his fist on the hood of her car and threatened her. They both demanded to go to the hospital, claiming they had, massive whiplash, bullcrap. I talked to the insurance company and I told them, I said, this is a scam. They said, well, yeah, we do. I said, tell me you're going to fight it. And they said, no, that's just not our model. I said, your model is to take and raise all of our rates to pay for scum like this who are just suing the system and using it. And I said, you're part of the problem. I said, I will pay a higher rate willingly if you'll fight these bums. Fight them and take them and make it harder and harder and harder for people like I mean, because I said, listen, there's no evidence that they had any damage. None. Show me a mark on the car. If you have no mark on the car, you have no force. If you have no force, you have no injury. It's bullcrap. Anyway, that's my vent for the day. Vent be coming back next week too. I miss my vent, the Southern Fried Vent. But anyway. All right. Well, another one in Georgia is the changes to homeowner insurance cancellations. Homeowners insurance companies must provide more notice before canceling a policy. According to the legislature, starting January 1st, homeowner insurance companies must provide a 60-day notice that they intend to cancel a policy. That it doubles it from the 30-day current requirement. That applies to any policies issued or renewed after January 1st. So unfortunately, us that already have those, they can still do that. It's for the new ones. So interesting. Watchman says, Carol Walker, the top back surgeon in Georgia, told me to never let them cut on your neck or back. She walked away from her practice that same week. She worked on heads of state and she just left. Interesting. Carol Walker. I'd love to talk to her. I think that'd be an interesting story. We need to look into that, see if we can get a contact. All right, back over to Tennessee. That's interesting. I kind of like. Oh, here you go. Bicycles Unite. In Tennessee, HB 1 378 or SB 1420. Signed by the governor in May, this law requires written exams for driver's licenses in the state to include information concerning hand signals used by bicyclists to communicate turning, slowing, and stopping. The state driver's manual used to prepare for the exams will be required to enable a reasonably diligent applicant to correctly answer the additional questions per state law. The measure is designed to increase safety for bicyclists in the state. The 114th Tennessee General Assembly will reconvene for the final year of its 2-year session at noon Tuesday, January 13, 2026. So they're going to amend. So if you've got if you're 15 or 14 or whatever, and you're studying for your exam already in Tennessee, you might want to look for an updated exam book. I guess those you can get them online now. Used to be you had to go by there and get the book, which I'm sure you can still do, but it would be interesting if you could if you could download that. They probably would ask at the most 1-2 questions out of that, because the exam covers a broad spectrum of things, obviously. But I would think it would, you get a couple of questions. I mean, there's not too many hand signals. Maybe they cover all 3. I don't know. I don't think that's going to, I mean, I'm not against it. Okay, it's good. It's information. It's good information. It's safety. I get that. What I don't, I don't think myself, I don't think that helps the problems that we have with bicyclists and cars hitting each other. Let me just take a little detour here. And no matter what you say about this, somebody gets ticked off at you. And I'm going to bring motorcycles into the thing as well. Here's my thing. I can appreciate. Let me take both sides of this equation. I'm just going to put bicyclists and motorcyclists together here for a minute. Don't get mad. And people driving trucks, cars, and whatever else. One, my belief, it's me, David, talking. Do people driving cars and trucks and trailers and all, do they need to be careful when they see bicyclists and motorcycles and really look to see them? Yes, no doubt about that. People need to quit driving crazy, trying to run them off the road. These are nutcases. I've never done that, and I would never do that. But law ain't going to change these people. They're just nuts. They're crazy, and people have died. But what bothers me about this is the other side of that coin. Is you hear all this stuff, and it's on social media everywhere. They will say, they blame people who drive cars and trucks all that as the total 100% problem. BS. And I will say that from personal experience. And I'm not saying in every situation, because there are nuts. Listen, anybody can get a license. My God, we have got problems with illegals getting licenses. I mean, you got to be some kind of special kind of dumb not to get a driver's license in America. Honestly, it's the easiest thing you do in life. People talk about how hard it is. My God, it's easy. I mean, if the worst you got to worry about is parallel parking your car, if you can't do it, don't get a driver's license. I mean, some of them don't even test for that anymore. They've made it easy peasy as pie. So there's a lot of idiots out driving cars and driving motorcycles and bicycles. They're still dumb. It doesn't just because they're out there. So here's the problem I have. I have had bicyclists and motorcyclists to cut me off, to take aggressive moves, especially motorcyclists. They drive, I can't tell you how many times I've had them driving up between the cars who are bumper to bumper on the interstate, or just crazy driving in and out of traffic, and they blame the car driver when the motorcyclist gets hit. It's not every motorcyclist. Again, people get mad at that. I'm saying it's both sides. Do we need more recognition that they're there? And listen, I will go further, and I don't care if it. They don't use signals. You're right. And here I'm going to take it a little step further. And bicyclists of the world, you can be mad at me. I don't care. I've rode my bicycles. Excuse me, I'm getting my words confused. But bicycles. Here's my problem with that. Bicycles do not go the speed of cars. Listen, I deal with this every Sunday almost when I go to church. My church is on the mountain. I got to go up the mountain. I got bicyclists that's testing their strength and agility and learning and all that, pushing their bodies for the next Ironman, going up the mountain, which is a curvy road. I get stuck behind them. I'm doing, 5 miles an hour, especially uphill, and it's double lined all the way up the mountain. I mean, I'm stuck. I either sit behind the bicycle and I just can't get nowhere, or I go around them. So do I break the law in the national battlefield as well? Yes, everybody does. Their presence makes me break the law. Most roads do not have a bicycle lane. There are those through the park, but they're not on the main road because it's a state highway. So you have to break the law to go a normal speed for a car versus the bicycle. This creates danger zones in both situations. And you can't expect a person in a car to sit there, which is backing up all the traffic. And what's going to happen, you're going to have somebody coming from a quarter mile away trying to get around all of them with oncoming traffic. It is a problem. Your little law does not fix that. I understand the signals. I've used them myself. I'm good. I understand it. Okay, let's have some more education. It's not going to fix the problem. And yes, people who have bicycles probably are paying through their cars the taxes and stuff on the gasoline and the road repairs and all that stuff, but they're not on the bicycles. And you can get mad if you want to, but I'm telling you what, there are more of us that believe this should happen that do not. You should have to register that bicycle. You should have to tag that bicycle, and you should have to have insurance on that bicycle. I don't care if you got 10 cars sitting in your yard. If you're going to come on the highway, you should have to have that. This is not working. They're creating more of a danger, and especially the cities, the urban areas, it's even crazier. They're creating danger situations, and I refuse to accept 100% of that, which is what is said out there. If it makes you mad, it makes you mad. I don't care. I see it all the time. You got a group of bicyclists that are running down a very curvy road that goes to the place that I work. Traffic is backed up for a half a mile or more, people trying to get to work. They spread across the whole road. They make sure that nobody goes around them, and they don't care. It's not right. It's not. It creates more of a problem. I'm all for people riding bicycles. I've rode them. I like them. But we got to have some common sense about some of this stuff. And it's just become a big problem. That's my opinion. And if you got the bicyclist who's going slow with their pet, some of them do it with their pets. They got their dog, jogging along beside. Then we got a whole nother problem. Anyway, yes, I agree with you. We got some Looney Tune evil drivers out there that'll absolutely run you off the road. They're crazy, and people have died. They drive too aggressively around the bicycles. They're screaming at them, cussing them, flipping them off. I've heard it all. I know of people. I don't know who they were, but we had an Iron Man here. They dropped roofing nails in the road trying to flatten their tires. Well, you could hurt somebody. That's wrong. It's bullcrap. But this law does not fix any of that. I'm all for more education, though, as for concerning safety, so I'm not against it. Update the book. Doesn't matter to me. I don't know why I had to have a law to do that, but they made the law for it. It's not in every state, but I suspect this will continue to grow. And somehow, through the national battlefield, we have to come up with a way, because the side roads is not a problem. A lot of them have, and people are going very slow anyway, but they're not flying through the battlefield. The speed limit is maximum of 40, and that's only in certain parts. Most people are going to take their 5 miles over. Actually, I think it's 35. People will go 40. We'll have a lot of people going faster than that. But on the state highway that goes through the battlefield, there's a bypass that goes around it, but people want to go through. I like to drive through because I like the history and I like the wildlife and I like to see it. I just drive a normal speed for the part. But you get some bicyclists out there. They want to go down the main road, and it creates backups, especially at shift change at local factories. And then it becomes a problem. So you got one bicyclist and you've got 40, 50, 60 cars backed up, heavy traffic the other way, and tell me that's a disaster waiting to happen. So that's they should yield to motorists, Watchman says. So I'm just saying, there are all kinds, and there are arguments on both sides of this argument. There are rights and there are wrongs, and I try to look at everything from the in out and from the out in, and what I do is human experience. You go out, you experience it, and I tell people all the time. I'll say this guy is going to get killed, or this girl is going to get killed, and let me say another one. In this death trap potential that is happening, you got the family unit out on their bicycles. Sometimes that is children down to the youngest of ages. The family, I've seen this so many times. The mother, father are out front. Little brothers and sisters and all that are trailing behind. The smallest one will be the last in line because they can't go as fast. And they're on the highway with cars getting lined up behind them. And you've got they don't have the experience. And I have seen them kind of lose their balance a little bit as they're trying to pedal faster to keep up and go out into the lane more. That scares me. It absolutely scares me. So, listen, I get it. I'd love to have somebody come on and talk about it from both sides of this. Come on, we'll talk. I mean, that's the free exchange of ideas and expressions. I'm all for it. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm just saying this is my experience. Tell me things. I mean, I get it. There are some nuts out there doing crazy stuff in cars. And one more thing on this. We need education not only for bicyclists, but how about pedestrians? I can tell you that went to turn in a street the other night. This happened a couple of weeks ago, and someone was dressed so darkly, I didn't see them till the last minute because you've got oncoming lights, you've got street lights, the red lights, all that lighting. You got all the store lights, you got lamp lights, all this stuff that's going on. Total black, dark. I don't know, black. It's dark outfit. Total. Could not see them. It scared me to death. I saw a little movement out of this on this side, and I just slowed and looked a little more, and there was somebody just trucking along. They weren't even in a hurry. They just figured, and this is a turning thing. They just figured, hey, listen, this ain't Gatlinburg. We don't see you. Everybody don't stop for you in the crosswalk. I mean, the drivers have the right of way, but in some of the cities they've done that. If you see them in there, you got to stop. We have one place like that on a mountain near a church. I'm good with it, but at night you got to wear something reflective. That's ignorance and lunacy to do that. I was taught that at a young age. Riding bicycles, make sure you have light colored reflective clothing on. And on my bicycle, I always made sure there was many lights. The one behind the seat, on the tires. I had a little lamp for the front of it. Some of them will have a little flashing light. Hey, some bicyclists do it right. I applaud them. When I go by, I say to myself, thank you for doing that, because I don't want to hit nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody. God forbid, kill somebody. And I'm glad that some of them really take the time to do it right. And it really helps because from a distance, you got to remember, you're covering a lot of ground. Even if you're just going 45, 50, 55 miles an hour, that's a lot of ground that is covered. It takes a while to stop. It's just physics. And you've got to be able to see somebody to have time to do that. And I wonder sometimes if people just, and some people have the attitude, hit me, I'll be a millionaire. Well, first of all, you're not going to be a millionaire. And secondly, you can't spend it if you ain't living. So the law should be that they must yield, pull over the side of the road for live motors to pass. And again, this is usually, sometimes you have the people training. Sometimes you just got the people out on the bicycle ride, and they're not in a big hurry, and they are impeding the normal flow of traffic. I just can't understand it. And for them to tell me they have the same rights and laws as you do as a person in a car, I have a problem with that. I didn't mean to say this long with this, and I'm gonna have to come back to this in the next show, but because I'm going to run out of time, I got to work today. But there's so much that comes up about this. They say they have the same rights and laws. Well, here's what makes me mad. When there's nobody coming, I don't see another car, I still stop at red lights and stop signs. I don't run those. I try to obey the law. We all break the law some. You do. They got so many laws. You're going to break a law driving. You're going to break it. We got more laws coming. I stop. I can't tell you how many bicyclists I have seen that just roll on through. If you say they have the same rights, they're also required to comply with the same laws. It's not a we always here in Georgia we always call it the California roll, because that's where it started. Everything starts in California and comes across the nation. We're 5 years behind here. Is the way I figured. It's probably shortened now with social media, but that's used to. You wouldn't see the people roll through the red light. Well, they hit Atlanta first. Now it's everywhere. That more and more people go. So half the light is spent for the people running the light. They don't care. So the California roll, we call it. The California roll through the stop sign and the stop, just roll through it, slow down. Oh, nothing, come and go. I see a lot of bicyclists do that because they don't want to have to get cranked again. I'm sorry. That's what that brake's for. Stop and do it. I'm not saying every one. I don't like to paint that brush over anything because there's not all that's all anything. There is always people that do the right thing. But I do see it a lot, and that frustrates me to no end. I'll just say that. Wow, man, I got my blood pressure up now. Let's get a couple more in. I took a little time with that, but take the time to look through these, and we'll come back to it. I'll probably be, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, it'll be Monday. We'll do that on one of the shows. Let's see, Tennessee Security and End Organ Harvesting Act. This prohibits health insurers from covering organ transplants performed in China. My God, why would we cover that job? Or using organs bought from China. It's a new law taking effect in Tennessee on January 1st. Tennessee Genomic Genopic. Did I say that right? I probably said it wrong. Security and End Organ Harvesting Act in Tennessee. All right, here's you one, and we'll go back and look at some of these a little deeper. The temporary driver's license. Here you go. Non-citizens, this is the state of Tennessee, non-citizens can only obtain temporary driver's licenses, which will have a distinctive mark. Non-citizens. So it will look different. It is a temporary license, and it will have a distinctive mark. Back to tattoo artists, state of Tennessee, tattoo apprenticeship licensing update extends apprenticeships from 1 year to 2 years and requires a signed completion verification before licensure. So that is some from there. Let me flip back over to Georgia. We'll get a couple more in before I have to go. This is fun. I always like to do this. It's kind of depressing sometimes. I think I got more laws. Mostly these haven't applied to me, but somehow. HVAC, that's one you don't think about too much. HVAC warranty transfers. The Georgia General Assembly passed legislation that makes changes to warranties for HVAC systems. They say that warranties for HVAC systems in residential homes will automatically transfer when properties are sold to a new owner. Sounds like a great idea to me. They say this applies to any HVAC system sold after January 1st, so no current one, but that's interesting too. So you don't lose that on the house. It's a part of the home, so your warranty stays in check. This is the way you get kind of ripped later on down the road. You think you're covered and you're not. Of course, the problem is this is going to have to be for those that's going forward. It does nothing to help people retro. There'd be no grandfathered into that. So they get a pass on that, so they don't get cost a lot of money, just be going forward. And they'll probably come up with some way to shirk the law, if I had to guess. Another one for Georgia. Recording of court hearings for transcription. The Georgia General Assembly passed a measure that allows for certain court proceedings to be recorded digitally instead of having a live transcript made during the time of the hearing. Interesting. I wonder if this has to do with it's getting harder and harder to find people to do that job. It takes a certain kind of person, and I have heard that is some cases are delayed or even changed dates because they couldn't have access to someone to do it. Somebody was sick. It said certain court proceedings. They didn't give a measure there, but we'll see. Also, in the state of Georgia, charges to ethics investigations of political candidates. Starting January 1st, the State Ethics Commission may not begin investigating a candidate within 60 days of an election. Some of this stuff has been used. We know the Georgia system has been a mess. We know that, and still is. That we know who we're talking about. We know what's going on down in Fulton County and all that. The act also requires that campaign and personal finance disclosure reports for local elected officials will be filed with the state ethics commissions, not locally. That could be bad. It could be good or bad. If the state ethics commission is above board, we're good. But what I will say is that stops from small town local crapola. That's real good English for you, but it works. Local crapola going for you, and local and some. You get the good old boy system going on. This puts another level on it. All right, and one last one. And I got to come back to these. We've got time before the new year. America First license plate. Hear, hear. The Georgia legislature allowed the issuing of a special license plate displaying the American flag and the words America First. Funds coming from the license plate will go into, unfortunately, Georgia's general fund, but that's some of them, they get a cut of all of it anyway. For the SCV, the Sons of Confederate Veterans, we had a big fight on our hand with that. They pulled it away. We had to redesign it. But money off of that, some of it goes for monument restoration or new ones. This has been a big help in the state of Georgia. So if you get a specialty license plate after January 1st, man, there should be some people down there on the first day they're open after that and getting that. America First. Yes. There you go. I applaud that. Sometimes I don't like some of these Sometimes I wonder what our our politicians are doing, but I kind of think that was good. Um, here, buddy. We need more stenographer degrees and less underwater basket weaving degrees. Oh man, I could do another hour, man. This is fun. I like going through these. Um, oh man, there's some more. We'll get to them. Davo's got to go to worko. Remember the old pig Latin? Anyway, Dave, it's. I'll still be bouncing around the socials. I've got some videos to get posted up. I've got. I'll be checking in on some stuff through the day as I do my work, and so you'll still hear from me, but no live stream until in the morning. Hey, join us. Join us. Yes, in the morning, right around 8 a.m. Now, I try to be right on time with these things. I really do. A couple things. One is I don't feel good or I'm dragging back. But my body has been so tired. You know, my wife has had some health problems, and if I usually, it depend. There's a couple of things that depend on when I need to get her up. But my goal is to be. Do I ever watch Sons of Liberty on Rumble? No, but I'll be definitely willing to do that. Sounds like a good show. But 8 a.m. or if I'm late, just hang there. We'll have our Sunday morning in the Word, and we'll pick a topic, get you a cup of coffee, and we'll come chat with me. We'll talk about it. It's not sir preaching a sermon, although I have preached some. It's talking over the Word of God and help for all of us. Help for me. I need help too. Pray for me and to get better as a child of God. So Sunday morning in the Word, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I'm a little later, I'll push it a little later. So I try to get the full hour in. And then Sunday afternoon, I'm going to be helping. I got some things to do at home and helping my wife and stuff. But Sunday night after church, two programs for sure. In fact, one of them will probably be, long live the Second Amendment. That is a Rumble only show. If I get that one in, get your Rumble app. I can't do that show on the others. I can't do it. That tells you where we're at. I'll get struck. So that's why it's a Rumble only show. If you don't Rumble, you can pull it up. I won't make it premium or nothing like that. But talking about gun laws, that's another one we need to look at. Changes, attacks on our rights as gun owners and Constitution and all that. But I try to do a news segment. I'll do that. And then maybe I'm going to try to get the history show in. And I've got to get my America First show back going because that's really, I really love that. I had a great time with the first show I did. And I would, due to sickness and other things, I got back to it. But definitely going to do that. No, I didn't have a chance, man. I was busy. But I definitely want to do that. But if you've got my email, could you send me a link with that? I know I'm asking you to do something, but it would help me just have a quick link to it. I will check it out today. I'll have some time. So it's just the holidays, man. I cooked Christmas Day, the first part of the day. That's all I did. After I did the stream, I cooked, and then I was just cooked after, no pun intended, after that day. I'm still kind of getting over it, but I feel better today. Thank you for that. I'll look and make sure. I think you did. Yeah, I've still got a couple of emails that you sent me. I have not avoided them, but I'm still catching up some emails. And by the way, if you'd like to email the podcast, we have a 3, and there's reasons for that. The overall podcast email, I have a personal one. I don't mind you having it. Heck, everybody has it. But the official podcast email is slppodcasting@gmail.com. There's 2 P's there. slppodcasting@gmail.com. For Wolf Nation 26, at yahoo.com. A little different, not Gmail, Yahoo. And for the pet show, Southern Claus Paws at gmail.com. Southern Claus Paws at gmail.com. And my personal email, I don't care. I do a lot of business with it. Cordell's Atlanta at gmail.com. I'll get those up. And actually take that email off. I still use that email, the Southern Fried at Yahoo. I've got that up. I've got to update that. But I will check that out. I've been watching a lot of music stuff lately, videos and different ones. Just my streams are they send all that stuff to me because of stuff I've looked at. So I get a lot of suggestions for different. So, and hey, I look forward now next week. I look forward to part 4, Def Leppard with our Southern Fried Soundstage. Uh, Part 4, it's a tough subject, but one we must cover in the history of Def Leppard is the death of Steve Clark, and hence the arrival of Vivian Campbell. And we'll do a lot of background on that. We'll do a little more background on Steve Clark and some of the things there, and some of the things he did with Leopard, which doesn't get the credit it deserves to me. And then the arrival of the great Vivian Campbell, and we will talk about his background and his arrival, and now 30 plus years in Def Leppard. And we'll do all things that, and that'll take us up to then. We'll get into a couple other things. We'll do a part 5 for sure with Def Leppard. Then we're going to move on. I'm trying to decide which band to do next. God, it's like a candy store. Which one should I do next? There are so many things, even one-off top shows that I'd like to do with that show is to talk about what's the iconic song for each band that really was, changed, made them into the stars they are. There's differences of opinion on that sometimes. I was thinking this. Broski asked me the other last show what was my favorite Leopard song from Hysteria, and I love the song Hysteria. And all the songs I like, and I said Love and Affection is kind of where I'm at right now. I just love that. But all-time Def Leppard favorite song is really off Pyromania, and I just love Coming Under Fire. I love that song. Has very rarely been played live. They are doing it now. It is always that song is killer. Straight on rock. I love that one. Coming Under Fire. I heard it this morning. Headed to Ringo to do the live stream, and I was like, yes, that's the song that really gets me going. He was playing some Christmas neoclassical guitar the other night. It was amazing. I'd check that out. I did see now when I say I didn't see it, I did pull it up and I did see like just a little piece or two. So I did see that. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. Me and My Wine. Yeah. There you go. Give me suggestions on the next group I'm willing to take suggestions. I've had folks suggest Iron Maiden. I've had Judas Priest. I've had, do we go older? Do we go newer? Do we go, I'm really good, late 60s all the way up through into the, I don't do much past, late 90s because I just don't think for the most part there's much been done. I do know a little bit, but the older bands that are still putting out material. But, give me something and then take part. Watch it and take part. It is a conversation about music, and we'll dive in and talk about the history of the band, their music, and all things. It's a lot of fun for me. I hope you're enjoying it. I love it. It absolutely just makes I get excited for that show every week. And the history show. Yesterday, me and Paul were standing in a couple of iconic places in the battlefield, and one of them I had never actually stood on that particular part of the battlefield that I remember. And it was special. I told Paul, I said, I am so glad we're out here today. It's a beautiful day. We talked to some people from Texas, and I thought it was interesting. Man, I do got to go. But their son is doing a school paper on Ulysses S. Grant. So they have visited Vicksburg. They have visited Chickamauga. That was their second time to be there, I think. And they were going to go to Shiloh. Ooh, I said, you're going to like Shiloh. But he's got to narrow the scope. You can't just do a paper on the whole of Ulysses S. Grant or the whole of Robert E. Lee. You got to kind of narrow that scope down. And that's what he was telling his son. But great family. Enjoyed talking to him. Well, I would. If I could get that interview, I'd be more than happy. You got a connection? I would love to talk to someone connected. And yes, get your Wolf Nation coffee. I would love to talk to him. He does. I have a few years ago, I talked to Rudy on, then was Twitter. I talked about his book, reached out to him about his book, Off the Rails, which is a great book, by the way. If you want to talk about a great book about a history of a band and Randy Rhoads and all that, Off the Rails. Rudy Sarza, what an amazing person. But yeah, I'm always willing to reach out. Sometimes you go through the gatekeepers. But I've been wanting to, there's a couple of people I'm wanting to reach out to and kind of work through and get, see if I can get a couple of interviews. But there's bound to be some folks out there that haven't been asked in a long time. Not those two. But there's a lot of angles you can work this. So I'm constantly thinking of what angle I want to approach. So We have, just by way, we have our racing show and sports show Monday evening. Interview with Scott Smith, dirt track driver. If he's watching, shout out to you. I know you've been watching some, and a lot of other dirt track drivers are going to be. We have interviews lined up into February now. Way to go, Dean Potts, the chaser. He's chasing after those interviews. We're working on a night of ministry right now with some friends of the podcast. John Frey, remember him? He's the gentleman that spent so many years in the South Carolina prison system. Is doing great things for Jesus. He writes music. He let us use some to put on our radio station. And they're still there. And a couple who they minister together. I was texting with them today. We're trying to line up a date where they can be on the show at the same time. And I'm going to reach out again today to Chris McDaniel and see what date we can get him on to talk about his work for the kingdom. And amazing person, love what he's doing. And I was just trying to get away from holidays. Amy Petula is coming up on January 5th. And I don't have the book in front of me. I think I got it up at the house. We didn't get to go to Marietta. There was reasons for that, logistics, but we're still going to go lay the flowers at Mary Fagan's grave. And yes, Miss Mary Fagan King will be back on the program in the near future. We definitely are going to do that. It was just not meant to be. We both had stuff going on. And so I said, let's get past the first, because he's going to vacation. So he's really squeezed to get a lot of stuff in. And when he gets back from vacation, we're absolutely going to do it. And I'm hoping to do a live stream from there, which meant we didn't go to Corpsewood Manor anyway. So what we did is we went and did a lot of videos. We were in the battlefield and some other places, and we did quite a bit of video out on location. So we didn't do live stream, but we did videos, and those will be popping up. They're anywhere from less than a minute to about 3.5 minutes. So you'll be seeing those starting to pop up this weekend. Well, a couple of them are already out there. All right. God bless you. Happy Saturday. Last Saturday of 2025. Unless you have some sort of power to freeze time and add time, it's the last one. Okay, that's a good one option as well. Yes, would love that. Oh, I talked to Paul today, a Biscuit Boy. Obviously, we were on the show together, and we talked about the retired Brigadier General coming on as well. He's got some stories. Wow, I can't wait for this. But he told his name today and everything on the show. But he'll be on with us soon, and we'll get a military perspective. Absolutely. Have a great afternoon. And God bless you. Pray for us. We'll pray for you if you have special prayer requests. Send those in. Please give us a like and a follow and forward our show out. It helps. It surely does. I've always tried to help podcasters with that. I'm not begging. I'm just saying. If you like what we do, even if you hate what we do, if you want to laugh at what we do, send it to more people to laugh at us. That's all good. I'm all good with it. I'm a goofy guy. And God bless America. Pray for America. Pray for all of our military that is scattered around the world in hot zones right now. Let's pray for the Christians in Nigeria. That's getting, I think the president's apping up stuff right there. I told him that, we're just going to have to go in there and hit them. They're not going to listen. He's made the threat. Venezuela's heating up after the first. It's going to be on. It is going to be on like Donkey Kong. That's where it's going. So lots of things going on, plus election stuff. We're getting into 2026, the midterms. It's going to be amazing, as Watchman said. So much to cover, so much to do. What was the thing he said in Willy Wonka? He said it backwards. So much time, so little, whatever he spun it around. Anyway, my brain works like that. All of us who watch TV or movies growing up, we forever are going to have those music, movies, all that, those lines, those scenes are popping into our head. I have it happen when I'm preaching. I'll have something about an Andy Griffith show pop up. People like it, though. They really do. All right. God bless. Let's get out of here. My wife is probably thinking, where are you at? Because she knows about what time I usually end. I got to get up and get going. So take care. This is Dave, the Cornbread Man. We'll see you soon.
Complicate life for the southern people. Like a small town, nothing's real. Mama's still doing wrong. Don't tell the preacher. Nothing really changes except the weather. If you can't